an update on New World. I'm like a couple days behind on this. As New World recognizes its 4th anniversary since launching on PC, we reflect on an incredible journey shaped by our dedicated player community. Your feedback and passion have been instrumental in evolving Aeternum into the world it is today. And our team is deeply grateful for this shared adventure. After 4 years of steady content updates and major new console release, we've reached a point at which where it is no longer sustainable to continue supporting the game with new content updates. The recently launched Season 10 and Night Haven update will serve as the final content release for New World on PC and consoles. It is only after much consideration that we've reached this decision. To thank you, the New World community, for your support over the years, we have made the Night Haven release available to you for free. To ensure all New World players can experience this content, we also have made Rise of the Angry Earth free for all PC players, console players. In the coming months, we will provide more details on what to expect and other essential information. Rest assured, our intention is to keep the servers operating through 2026, allowing our community time to continue their adventures in Aeternum. Additionally, New World Aeternum will still be downloadable for PlayStation Plus members, Extra and Premium. Players of Aeternum, your dedication and enthusiasm have made this New World adventure an unforgettable journey. We're deeply grateful for every moment you've spent helping build this extraordinary world alongside us. It has been an honor to share Aeternum with you. Thank you for helping make this game something truly special. Okay, so now we know to be clear, New World servers are not shutting down yet. They are just no longer receiving new content updates. They have only guaranteed that the servers are going to make it through 2026. And actually, they haven't even guaranteed that. They said our intention is to keep the servers operating through 2026. So it's possible the servers will go out offline in 2027, potentially. So all of the money that you spent on that game is absolutely in the tank. If we look at the Steam charts for this game, it's a little deceptive. Everybody said, no, we're serious, we'll log in. No, we'll log in for real, though. For real, though, we'll log in. We'll play the game. Please don't shut it down. Please don't shut it down. Reality of the situation. I think that the new content drop happened, and then there's also people logging in for nostalgia purposes. Okay. They didn't remove the purchasable content. I think they just want to milk players until the last second. Yep. Like, almost guaranteed. But, like, you look at these player charts here, 8.3K peak, 6.3K an hour ago, right? 913K. If I look at all time, look at that. It's a blip. It's a blip. One of the most successful launches for an MMO in an extremely long time tanked immediately because the devs refused to do what the player base wanted or to develop late game content that players really wanted. And like, obviously you can talk all day about what made New World go downhill. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm just glad it's not us, guys. I'm just going to be keeping it a buck, guys. I'm glad it's not us because New World gets like 50K peak on its expansion and then tanks down. It's like 9K average, 21K average during new expansions. That's where we sit normally. Anyway, right. Yeah, exactly. It's not yet. It's not us yet. But I think that this is the direction that MMOs are kind of headed in. And if you guys are wondering why I've been trying to branch out my content, why I'm working on the new content that I'm working on, and why I'm pushing into that sphere of streaming and just like making content like that, it's because of shit like this. It's because I do think that it's possible that we could be on this list in the next 10 years. This could happen to us. as the only reason it doesn't like as Pearl Abyss starts to make money with other games, whether they release Stoke AV or whatever, Crimson Desert obviously will only make them money for a few months. But then if they try to, they said they're going to try to make that a live service game. So like, I'm hoping that this isn't us. I'm hoping that it's not Guild Wars 2. How scary would that be? How many of us play Guild Wars 2? How much money and time have you spent on Guild Wars 2? Right? Throne and Liberty. Right? Like Throne and Liberty's another big one that like New World shut down, and a lot of people were immediately like, oh my God, what does this mean for Throne and Liberty? And my understanding is, so there's this thing. Amazon mass layoffs are hitting New World. In a sweeping layoff, Amazon is getting rid of 30,000 plus people today, and in the future, they will remove more and more to replace them with AI. New World is feeling these layoffs. Some people are missing from the Discord, and artists are posting on Twitter talking about being laid off. We don't know the full extent of the layoffs yet, as they are going out this morning. I'm worried for the future of the game. Edit update. The Amazon employees subreddit is saying the entire Irvine AGS studio is just gone. Irvine AGS. So this is just Amazon Game Studio in general. Please bear in mind that Amazon Game Studio publishes Throne and Liberty. They publish Throne and Liberty. They don't make Throne and Liberty, they publish it. Amazon Games jobs listing do not have the Irvine site listed. Probably confirmation that New World is cooked. The AGS LinkedIn page also no longer exists. I think we might be cooked. Oof. They just cooked them. Another big one is Lost Ark. Yeah, Lost Ark I think AGS publishes Lost Ark. And so I think that their plan is to continue publishing these games, but you see Lost Ark is not doing very much better than New World is. Look at where Lost Ark's at, guys. Like, in fairness, Lost Ark does have its own client, right? Tariffs hit Amazon hard? No, it didn't. It's a multi-trillion-dollar company. Lost Ark didn't give a Amazon didn't give a we're waiting for an update. Doesn't matter. So are we. Right? Show BDO. Well, I'm pretty sure Lost Ark does have its own client too, right? Lost Ark does have its own client too, yeah? AGS sucks though. Actually, I think that AGS's community management teams and like managerial staff and stuff was actually exceptionally good in all of the games that I have played with them in. They've been very good. And then publishing, I'll be honest with you, their servers were also really stable. I'll be honest, like super, super stable. Now, yes, this is only for NAEU, but the same could be said for New World, but New World is not popular. It's not a thing in Korea in the East, right? Lost Ark is a thing in the East, right? But like I think they have their own client too. I think Lost Ark, if I go to Lost Ark download, where the f do you download this game? What are we talking about? Why play now? Oh, so it's only Steam. Never mind. It is quite literally only Steam. Okay. Never mind. It's a little rough. It's a little rough out here. But ooh. Lost 13%, lost 31%, and a minus in November. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. We're fine. Everything is fine. Now, at least Lost Ark does have, like, it's got Korea, it's got Asia, right? It does have a player base over there. So you are talking about, like, you know, there's other places in the world. But Lost Ark is not doing a whole lot better here. They are struggling. And to be clear, I know that this looks, we watched a video on D-Jules earlier. I encourage you guys to go check it out. I would say that, I'll be honest with you, this is super deceptive. I think that we are struggling too. Worse than the numbers would let on. Because as D-Jules correctly represents in the video, when you look at Lost Ark doesn't really have AFK things to do, right? So when it says that there's 9,293 players, that means that 9,293 players, give or take, are active players. They're raiding, they're running around, they're doing stuff with people. usually you're not just standing idle AFK fishing and shit in Lost Ark. Okay, not really a thing. BDO, this represents our total player base. Total, well, I say total. We obviously have our client too, right? But like, and so you shouldn't necessarily look at the number. Let's say the number's twice this, right? Let's say it's like 35,000, right? Even still, the number is massively overrepresented, and anyone that plays BDO knows that that's the case, right? Probably about 60 to 80% of this number are basically just AFK, right? Are not actually playing the game actively. They're just AFK fishing, right? I think that if Lost Ark's cumulative players were all logged in at the same time, like they would probably dwarf BDO. I think that the Lost Ark community is larger than Black Desert's, in my opinion. Just because, I don't know, just what I've seen. And again, so like, I think that if the number of players that actually logged into Lost Ark in a week, right, were represented on a pie chart, and again, D-Jules kind of goes through this. Right now, what we're seeing is a slice of the pie chart, right? The 9 to 11,000 peak here is a slice of the pie chart, okay? The total amount of players that consider themselves Lost Ark players is astronomically higher than this number here, right? They just only really log in for minutes to hours at a time during the week to do their content, and then they log back out again. BDO is completely a different game. So when you look at the Steam charts for BDO, it's extremely misleading. One, we have another client, right? And I would say at least 50% of our players probably play on the client. And then we also have the majority of this number is AFK people. So I actually think that our numbers are a lot closer to what Lost Ark looks like right now than you might think in terms of like active players. Active players, right? Check by the graph that it really doesn't have the same problem anymore. I don't know what he's talking about. I believe you heard that New World is shutting down. That's what we're talking about right now. That's what we're talking about right now. And New World, obviously, we know that New World has not been doing well for a while, right? But like, and to be clear, people look at Guild Wars 2 because they have really, really bad Steam charts. But Guild Wars 2 is a bad example of Steam charts because most of the player base for Guild Wars 2 does not play through Steam. Like the majority of them do not play for Steam. The same cannot be said for BDO. I'd say it's about 50%. It used to be higher. Like we used to have 60 to 70% of people playing on the client with only 30% or so playing on Steam. But then we lost a lot of our client players about a year and a half ago when that node war change came through. We lost these were mostly client players through here, and nowadays, like at least in my community, and whenever I take a poll, it's about 50-50.
Finrear just resubscribed for 14 months.
If BDO had no AFK, the amount of people on Steam and client would be 4K. Yeah, so it's pretty easy to tell this. Anybody that's on Copium, think about it in game, guys. Think of how many grind zones we actually have in game, right? If people were if there really were 10,000 people actively playing BDO on the North American and EU servers, don't you think that the grind zones would be filled up immediately? It would be much, much harder to find a grind zone because there's not very many grind zones, especially in Adania and these other spots like Honglim. It would be like impossible to find a spot at Honglim, right? But because there's just not that many active players at any one given point in time, you can go to any server you want. At any point in time, there are just dead servers. There's no grinders. Right? There's no grinders on some of those servers, right? And so that's how you know there's only a few thousand active players at any given point in time for us, right? What about live skilling and semi-AFK cooking? Well, it depends. Are you talking about gathering and fishing? Or are you talking about gathering and hunting? Those are active life skills, and that is lumped in with what I just said, right? And they're also less popular than grinding. And if you're talking about AFKing, again, that's what we're just talking about here. BDO is basically a fishing simulator with a combat system. No, we have great graphics too. We have the best sex honeys in the entire world for MMOs. What do you mean? Tigris is packed at the moment. Correct. But Honglim is not. Right? It's pretty easy. Think about it, guys. How easy is it for you mid-game players in the audience right now? When you show up to Honglim base, on a normal server, not on Arsha, on a normal server, how hard is it realistically to find a grind zone? How many times do you have to swap servers before you can find an open grind zone? Right? Not very often. Usually you just walk in, boom, the grind zone's there, and you're done. Right? Like you're just ready to go. So like we don't have that kind of active player base. And what D-Jules was trying to get across is that this number is extremely deceptive. What I was trying to get across is that I think in the last year or so, it's not like we've lost like total players. If the pie chart represents total players, right? And then
WDYM Blue? I can't autopath my barter routes for 5 minutes without running into a flock of AFK fishing boats, lol.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, he's trolling. So this represents the active players in BDO. Oops, I made the arrow too long here. These are the active players, guys. Okay, and then these are the inactive players here in this bigger section. All right, and my concern with the BDO player base is that we took the amount of active players and we cut it in half. So now instead of having this many, we've got this many, right? And that's what I fear that we've done in the last year. So although our total players don't look like crazy concerning, it is concerning to someone like me who sees a lot less activity going on in the game, a lot less players like actively playing the game. So although they log in, they AFK fish, they're not as invested, right? And so it's really scary to see New World get shut down. Obviously, we are a much more successful MMO than New World. But like you've got to be looking at this as an MMO player. You're looking at this. This is an objective L for all of us. We're like, oh shit, that is scary. That is scary. And I know what a lot of you are thinking. Oh my God, the New World players will come play BDO. No, they won't. No, they won't. Are we kidding me? I saw this post on Reddit. Some dude, BDO subreddit. Let's see if I can find it. Some New World guy literally went on the BDO subreddit, was like, hey, I was thinking about trying this. And our community was like, no, don't! Run! Run! You're dog shit! Like, now, to be clear, here, is it possible to play classes in this game for action bar only? God, I wonder if that's a New World player. Total Noob just signed up. Yes, so we are getting some new players from New World, but I'll tell you what, I don't think that they stick. Most of them probably don't stick because New World hits kind of a different audience. We do hit, like, if they were a life skiller in New World, they're going to like BDO way more, in my opinion. If they were a life skiller in New World, I think that they're going to love BDO. But if they're like somebody that like the New World was a lot about like dungeons and stuff, bro. We don't have any of that, man. We don't have any of that. I saw 2 posts, one about party content, which the response was fair. BDO is not for that. Yeah, exactly. That's the one I was talking about. He was like, yeah, no. Is this it? New World Refugee here? Is BDO mostly solo-oriented experience? I'm looking for a game where I can consistently play with friends and progress. Shit. Damn. Without feeling like I'm hindering my progress because the solo activities are way more rewarding. Can BDO offer me that?
Daddy Blue Balls.
This is
Mommy's calcium cannon Milky's signing off now. I've gotten done watching you for the day. I'll make sure to not play with myself as you said yourself for the month November unless you allow me to. Oh, what did you say? Oh yeah, I am a good girl. Now I am going to send you nudes for the rest of the night and imagine what life must be under our desk.
Every day we stray further from God's light. What the f-? It's got 46 comments and 39 upvotes. BDO is very much a solo experience. I do it because I'm not immersed. I've been in an MMO life skilling. Every morning and night, I tend to do my farms in order to grow strawberries, and then I go back to the ocean side in order to earn profit and buy a carrot to get into bartering. While you might be able to quest next to somebody sometimes, you would get more from them talking in your ear as they do their own single-player adventures more than anything. Yep. Oh, God. Was watching Blue Squadron earlier, and he joked about BDO, hearing people wanted to group content, so they added maid companions. Oh, I did not know that this comment was here. They added maid companions to the game so that you have a maid which you can walk around with as your group content. I was joking, but also, was I actually joking? Somebody linked me this, by the way. Somebody linked me this post. Like, was I actually joking though? Like straight up, because that's like I was being real with it, bro. That's my streamer. Yeah, most of your experience will be solo. Yeah, this is and that's why I don't think that we're gonna pick up a lot of the New World refugees that come over. I think that maybe we'll get some, but it's not gonna be a meaningful amount of people, right? It's just the way that it is. That's how they see it. Yeah. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the New World drama.